Hey everybody, and welcome to the PlantStock channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse. Now today I felt like doing a somewhat different video considering what's going on in Afghanistan. Now it's easy to get stuck in your own little sphere of problems and issue, and you tend to forget that there's a whole world out there with people who might have far greater problems than you and I. And that is something that I tend to forget all the time. But I have learned that sometimes when you think about other people's problems, you give them your focus, well, then all of a sudden, your own problems might not seem that bad. You might actually start to appreciate your life a lot more. What is happening in Afghanistan at the moment is tragic. And if you have been watching the news recently, you know that there's a whole generation that risks being lost at this moment. You can witness the extreme hardships that now face millions of innocent people. Now, I would truly appreciate if you actually press that like button because I want this video to reach a lot more people out there because I want them to be aware of what is going on with the children in Afghanistan or the people of Afghanistan. So truly would appreciate that. And also feel free to share the video if you have the possibility. Now for me, I guess this situation affects me a bit more than normally because I used to teach young Afghani teenagers. These were kids who had fled their motherland because of persecution. Most of them were Hazaras. They're an ethnic group that have lived in Afghanistan for generations. I spent a lot of time with these teenagers, and their different stories were unique but shared a common thread. Many of them had traveled from Afghanistan to Sweden in whatever form they could, and it took them months. And they did it alone. Many of them had lost their parents, their whole families. Some of them even saw their families getting killed. My experience with these kids was really positive. They were really kind and courteous. They showed a lot of respect. They were hardworking and decent young men. They just wanted to have an opportunity to have a better life here in Sweden. And some of them got that opportunity. Some of them got adopted by Swedish individuals. Unfortunately, not all of them. Many of them, way too many, were forced back to Afghanistan by the Swedish government. According to the government, they didn't fill some unique criteria. They couldn't prove their age, or the government concluded that it was safe enough for them to return back, that those areas weren't as war-stricken as others. Now, I can just imagine what could have happened to those kids being sent down there again. And even worse, what's going on today. I was really affected by a Facebook post that was written by famous Swedish journalist Carina Bergfeldt. She wrote it in Swedish, but this is my translation of what she wrote. Maybe it's because it has to do with children. But at the moment, I am struggling emotionally. A more difficult struggle than normally, with the news that the Taliban has taken control of Kabul. The knowledge that the news soon will be tightened even more for those who are most vulnerable. Those who are considered the greatest threat. For the first time in many decades, we're now seeing a whole generation of millions of children growing up in Afghanistan who can both read and write. That is the beginning of a slow revolution that changes society and builds the future. Children that go to school are a beacon of hope, maybe the most powerful hope there is, to be able to one day change this barren, beautiful country that I have been so touched by. That is the very reason why these same children are considered a threat towards people who want to stop progression. A threat against extremists, a threat against the Taliban. And that is why it is so vital to act, to do what you can to help ensure that these children's education is allowed to continue. And she goes on to discuss exactly how we could help these children. She meant that if everyone who had the opportunity would just donate a really small sum of money, then that would make a huge difference for several of these kids' future and their ability to go to school. She asked if people could just donate a small sum of money. If we were only around 100 people that donated around $6, then that would be the equivalent of educational material for about 30 classes for a whole year. Now that is huge. Now, the really good news is that she got way more than 100 people who actually donated money. In just a very short time, almost 15,000 people donated money. And at the time of filming this, it was close to $120,000 that had been donated so far. So in other words, whatever you decide to give, be it $6, $3, even less, it all adds up. And if we're enough people doing it, it will all add up. And in the long run, it will actually make a really huge difference for these kids. Now, I have donated a small sum of money and I am planning to donate more. And if you are interested in doing the same, take a look in the description down below. I put some links there. And if there are some links that you think would benefit this, then please let me know and I will put them up later. But if you feel that you don't have that opportunity right now, then I would still really appreciate that you smash that like button, because then this video might actually reach a lot more people, which would mean that we would have more people who probably and hopefully have the opportunity to help out in whatever form they could. And that's the main game here, right? Now, before I started making this video, my plan was to remove the ads. I didn't want to monetize a video when I'm talking about things that are as important as this. But then I realized that YouTube actually pushes out videos a lot more if they are monetized. And the same is also true of videos that get a lot more likes and comments. So that is why whatever little sum I get from this video, whatever it may be, I'm going to take that money and donate it to this cause. And I'll use a print screen and put it out in the community post later. And since, like I mentioned, comments actually has an effect on the algorithm, reaching more people, I would really appreciate a comment down below. Maybe something like for the kids of Afghanistan or whatever floats your boat. Then whether you were able to donate money or not, or if you actually liked and commented, then you would have helped made a difference. And that is what this is all about. Obviously, as a teacher, this comes really close to my heart. I know that children of any country are the future. They're the ones who can make this world a better place for everyone. It always starts with the children. If we can give kids a better opportunity early in life, well, then that's the best possible chance this whole world has to become a better place for everyone, for generations to come. Folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I truly appreciate it. Again, don't forget to press that like button. And if you want to, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And as people in Afghanistan say, and that me and the kids often said to each other when we said goodbye, is Khuda Hafiz.